at some point. Yeah. That's fun stuff. All right, so I am going to throw some cards and we will see what comes up. Know that we are already in the new moon energy. So for those of you that have strong placements in Sagittarius, you can very well be feeling this amplified, right? And it is a moon that is going to be kind of like an exploratory new beginning. What is the beginning? Where are the ends? Have you had any ties that are keeping you into a state of an old paradigm, right? And where do those blocks need to be replaced, or where do you need to have focus so that you can proceed into your new reality, your new timeline, right? So I'm using a combination of decks and we will see what comes out. I'm going to put this back, but this is expansion. It says, educate your mind and your senses. The secret temptation being laid in the astral, right? If any of you guys have experienced like sexual energy when you're like in the process of going to sleep and like you're in the in-between, there can very well be an open gateway through say cannabis or through alcohol, and you can be kind of unfolding or understanding like what is kind of impeding your energetic flow or trying to attach to your energy, right? And it can be affecting like your discernment. It can be affecting your third eye. Okay, so I need more clarity. So letting go, 18. Soul's Journey, that's 9. And 31. And that's a secret temptation, or it's an impediment of a temptation, right? Like you can feel possibly sexually drawn to someone via energy or via transmutation. And what part of your healing are you still clinging onto the past? That is creating a form of suppression and an acceleration of thought forms, right? Like, are you finding yourself holding on, or are you finding yourself releasing at an accelerated rate, right? Because a lot of people don't realize entity attachments are going to either tell you you have to get it right now, like there's no delay. You are not going to be able to like let that ride. And so it's like those energies that are essentially like on the shoulders, in the mid back, and in the solar plex, like if you have like an activation where you feel like you're distinctively being led astray or you're being led off of your own path, right? If you feel like you're doing things out of guilt, and granted, we're in the holidays, right? So like guilt is going to be there, or like doing it because you have to do it. Those things have to be cut away. And for those of you that work with Archangel Michael, you definitely want to ask Archangel Michael to pull and cut away those cords. And they're just saying like there is this, it's a releasing of contracts and stepping into divine abundance. Wherever that is for you, it's opening up to the realm of possibilities and receptivity in your day-to-day, in your moment by moment. Like, how are you in a state of abundance? How are you having thought forms, feeding your thought forms into a state of abundance, into divine guidance. And it's like working through whatever adventure you're going to be in the process of proceeding forward as you're moving. It's really like opening up that portal to your divine abundance and highest timeline, and constantly re-ask yourself, is this for my highest good? Do I feel like I am really stepping into my divine purpose? Like, who in my reality is essentially housing entities that are keeping me in an old state of guilt, in an old state of like not healing, right? Because we're in this like last 2 months of the snake. And so as we're pushing through into February, like it's your job to truly get rid of the things of the past, because they no longer serve you. Those old thought forms that are keeping you in a limited state of being, like you have to ask yourself, why are those thought forms continually coming up? I'm a big component when I work with clients. It's write down everything that's coming up continuously and start chipping it away. What serves you? What's impeding you? Where is it living at in your body? And as you're identifying, whoever has like a tightness back here, just identify it and say, I see you, and put orange around it. And it's going to have to release, right? Because when you see it and you call it into the light, it is required by the creator that it has to be released. And so if any of you have body tightening, if you have ghost pains, like you're cool, you go out into a crowd and then all of a sudden you have all these pains and you have all these aches and your knees are stiff, it's literally an entity attachment that jumped in, like via food, via like you shaking somebody's hand, you offering a hug. They're like, yo, you can transmute me. I want to go. I don't want to be on this planet anymore. But the downfall is you haven't accessed that point yet to actually like release those entities. And so like through that process, like start identifying, or maybe you have started to identify like your conscious creation, like how you are connected to the creator, how you are moving in your day to day. And so like, as you're choosing this higher timeline, like you're letting go of all those vibrational frequencies that have been keeping you in a suppression state, right? In a state of lack, or in a state of limitation, or in a state of codependency, right? And it's our job literally to clear these things out of the grids, so that way you're not only helping yourself, you're helping your lineage, you're helping your DNA, you're also helping your soul family and your pods. And because we all incarnate in pods of awareness. I don't know if any of you guys have watched, it's called Sense8, right? It's an old documentary. It's an old show on Netflix, and it kind of shows the vibrational threads of connection in the incarnation cycle, right? Like, because they have to give you the bits and pieces of truth of what is in the background. And so like, yeah, there's relevance to that. There is like an unfolding to how you're doing the work. Yeah, it's literally stepping you into your fierce energy, into like your warrior energy. It's you understanding what spiritual warfare is, and where it is no longer going to be living in your frequency as you proceed forward, right? It's again claiming your own divinity and claiming your elevated pathway. Yeah, and for those of you that are like resonate with like crystalline energy, or with like all of a sudden you have stones that just kind of pull you in, or it's kind of like you, like, because I've met a couple of people who can like literally ask a clear quartz to take on the properties of like a black tourmaline. And so the quartz ends up being a protective stone for that individual, because they literally are recalibrating the facets of that stone. And so maybe you're going to start playing with the energy of the stones, or how to work with the energetic frequencies, understanding like what's been rigged against you and what you are consciously creating, right? Because when you understand the facets of the matrix, of how the matrix is created and how it is amplified, you know, you understand that the vibration that you've been separated from is the self-love, is the being in a state of adversity, struggle, impediment. And the real question is who's the one who benefits from you being in a state of a lower vibration? Well, the entities do, because they're feeding on your energy. And then those that are housing these demonic energies are also feeding on it. So like, what is it that is going to step you into your power, into your own divine divinity? Hey, you know, and that is really like the path of you stepping into your truth and you stepping into your own divine mission. And you have to ask, like, what is it in the reality that is essentially keeping you out of your highest timeline? And I guess the awareness of that is like through letting go of the cords of attachment that you've essentially taken as your own shield, as your own battle. And it's releasing those things, and allowing yourself to no longer be, it's like, it's no longer allowing yourself to be impeded, but no longer allowing yourself to be controlled by things outside of you, right? And that can, you know, open up the doors to what is your fate. Well, like, what is for me will be for me, and like the gates that need to close, the impediments that need to close, will be shut, right? With your clarity, with your you know, stepping into your what is your likeness is going to be attracted to you. It's kind of like finally changing this pivot where you're no longer operating out of a vibrational frequency of karma, and stepping into your divine dharma, and understanding that the energy that you put out is the energy you're going to receive, and understanding that boomerang in the here and the now, in every single moment, in every single interaction. It's literally allowing you to release like your karma in a radical way, right? It's literally amplifying and magnetizing your future into being. It's like through your awareness and through your own clarity, you are going to start opening these energies, and you're going to learn that through your own emotional frequency and the way that you are currently processing. And you could very well, I don't know why, but they're showing me a tattoo of like a Merkaba, like in the throat area, whether that Merkaba is there in the 3D realm, and your etheric body is the one that has that. But like, you can very well, or you could even be drawing patterns of recognition of geometric patterns, right? Like if you close your eyes during meditation, like I used to see colors a lot at the very beginning when I was like in the process of opening up my third eye. And you can very well be like kind of playing with those energies in the release or in the understanding. And it's honoring of the journey. Like there is this peace and co-collaboration that is taking place in regards to your kind of leaning into like what is for me is in fact for me, and nothing and no one. It's honoring the loss, because that's something that had to take place. It's a form of transmutation, right? It is literally the birth and the rebirth of the phoenix. And so through the identification and the releasing of like the what is no longer for me has been taken away, and I'm honoring and allowing the what is for me to come into me, right? And in the highest vibrational frequency of your own alignment is kind of, it's like how the energies are going to like kind of open up. And they're kind of showing me like when the sky parts, and it's been raining all day, because here it was raining in other areas, but by me it hasn't rained. And it's through the purity and the cleansing and the saying, okay, like, what is it that needs to be reset, rebirth, renewed? And maybe that's the focus for this new moon, that you need to start like really, they say play with. You have to play with the energy of like the activation in the heart center, like the connected energy of what you're portraying outward. That shift is going to step you into your divine power. It's like your desires open up, like your royalty and self in your empress status, right? It's illumination and divinity. It is divine light. And so for those of you that are essentially still in a state of depletion, or in a state of like wishing and hoping and desiring, but not necessarily in a state of forgiveness yet, you have to really ask yourself, like, what is it in your reality that is going to bring you joy? How do you find peace in your connections on a daily basis? And what are you truly focusing on? What is resonating within your mental body that is no longer serving you, right? And get down to the meat and the potatoes of like the layers, right? Like, what are those emotions? How long have they been there? You know, what is that shadow? And it's through the identification and the patience of peeling back that onion through your own contemplation, you open up and turn the wheel into your manifestations. And it's that activation within your own attunement that will, it's kind of like dissolving an old timeline that is no longer serving you. It's there can very well be like a Pisces energy that is needing to release this, or I would look up like the what is in the frequency. I'm going to leave that there. If something in this resonated with you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you would like a reading or a healing, you are welcome to put that information below and send me an email. If you find that you're constantly sacrificing a part of who you are to help others, you have to ask yourself, like, what part of you is needing to be fed in that process, and why are you still doing it? Who taught you that in order for you to ascend, in order for you to be helpful to others, that you have to give X amount of yourself in order to step into your own divinity? Because those are all falsities, right? And so like through that process, like just kind of meditate on it and ask yourself to peel back those layers so that you can truly step into your own pathway, right? Your own purpose, your own self-love. No longer sacrificing self, but allowing yourself to align with divine, right? I'm going to leave that there. For anybody who has had like stuck energy in the shoulders, in the back of the crown, in the solar plex, and if your third eye has been blocked, just identify and call it out and say, I see you. Put an orange bubble around it, and I am going to remove it out of your field. Because there's no delay, and it's time for you to step into a new paradigm. It's time for you to step into your purpose. It's time to step into the what you're meant to do on this planet, right? It's you stepping into your own divinity and your own inner strength. Okay. Your energy is your energy. My energy is my energy. And I hope that you feel a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter and more in your body than you were yesterday. Know that you are a conscious creator. You are a very, very powerful manifester, and you are what every other person on this planet wants to be. There is no leader like a 33. There is no power on this earth like an energy of a 33. I am also going to start doing special clearings for any of you guys that are 33s that have a family member, a sibling that is an 11. If you're a 33, they're an 11. It makes you guys a 44. And there is a soul contract and an activation through that process. And I am going to help start releasing if you guys have any impediments in that process. I definitely want to start like getting into the meat and potatoes. And I want to start releasing these thought forms that you guys are holding on to. That is the core reason why I am coming on lives, is because I want to help you get lighter. I want to help you get brighter, and I want to help you get on your pathway, right? No more impediments, no more of allowing things to block you. It's time for you to step into the process. Until next time, be well and ciao.